Hey everybody, welcome to the video. So today's video we're going to be making a rag-on sweater. I think that's how it's pronounced. Correct me if I'm wrong. But it's basically a sweater where you crochet from the top down instead of making separate panels and sewing them all together. This should have no sewing of sleeves or body together at all. So it's honestly, in my opinion, way easier and faster. And let me show you what products I'm using. So I ended up using this yarn from Hobby Lobby. I ended up using 3 for my sweater. It is 100% acrylic. Here are the grams, weight, whatever, you know, all that good stuff, hook size. These are the hooks that I'm using. I'm using an I size hook and a G size hook. You'll also be needing some scissors, 4 stitch markers, and a sewing needle. So the first thing we're going to be making is the ribbed collar. And the ribbed collar, this is the same way you're going to be making the cuffs and also the hemline. So first thing that's important is you're going to be using a hook size that is smaller than your hook size for crocheting the body in the sleeves. So I will be using a G size hook. I'm going to start with a slip knot. Now you're going to chain 9. There is 9. Now you're going to insert your hook 2 chain spaces away from the hook. So 1, 2. Go ahead, insert your hook there. And you're going to do a single crochet. You're going to do single crochets all the way around for the next 7 stitches. And this will be your row 1. So now, after every row is done, this will be the same every time. You're going to chain 1, and you're going to flip your work. Now we're going to be working in the back loops only. You're going to insert your hook in that first back loop. You're going to yarn over and do a single crochet. And then you're just going to continue doing that, working in those back loops, doing single crochets. So once you've reached the end, this will be row 2. You're going to chain 1, and you're just going to repeat that over again. Flip your work, insert your hook in the back loop, and put single crochets for the next 8 rows, or 8 stitches, sorry. And you're just going to continue this until you get the length and circumference that you want for your neckline. Make sure that it fits around your neck and fits over your head when you have it in a circle shape. And also, what's very important is you want to make sure that your final row count is a multiple of 4, because we're going to be dividing this collar into 4 sections. That makes the front panel, back panel, and the sleeves. Okay, so I made 100 rows, and I am just checking to see the size around my head. I can get it around my head, and then it would be around my neck, somewhat like this. And this is just kind of how I envision what it might look like. So what we're gonna do here is after we had just chained 1 on our last one, we're gonna insert into the back loop like we have been doing. Now we're going to go and grab the other end here and line it up, making sure we are not twisted or have any turns. and we're going to insert our hook into the first stitch over here. Now we're going to just do a slip stitch. So we're going to yarn over and pull through all of these. Then we're going to do that again for all the remaining stitches we have. So insert through the back loop and insert into the next stitch over and slip stitch. And there we go. We have joined them all together. So now we're going to want to flip it this way so we have that seam facing away from us, and we're going to be working like this from now on. Is we're going to do single crochets all the way around our collar, and it should be 100. And while we're doing our single crochets all the way around, we're going to be dividing this into 4s. So we'll be counting, since I did 100, I'll divide that by 4, which is 25. So on the 25th stitch, I'm going to put a stitch marker. Then I'll count another 25 stitches and put a stitch marker. And I'll do that until I have 4 markers, 25 spaces each. So let me show you how you put your single crochets in here. So you will be putting a single crochet in here, 1, and then you'll put another one along this seam. That's 2, and then 1 right here, 3, 4, 5, 24, and 25. So I reached my 25th stitch, and I'm going to place my first stitch marker. Now I'm going to count another 25. So there's 1, 2, 5. Now I'm going to insert my next stitch marker right here. Now I'll count another. Three, 24, and 25. We will insert our last stitch marker. Now we reached our middle seam right here. We're going to be just doing a slip stitch right into that first stitch we made. Now what we're going to be doing is we're going to be working double crochets along all of these stitches that we made using our larger hook size. I am using an I hook size. So we're going to be working double crochets all the way around, and every time we reach a stitch marker, we're going to be doing an increase, and I'll show you what to do when you get to the increase spot and how we do that increase. So what you're going to do with your bigger hook, you're going to chain 3, and this is how you start every new round. 1, 2, 3. So I have chain 3. Now in the next stitch, I'm going to be putting a double crochet. So yarn over into your hook and then double crochet. And you're going to be doing double crochets until you reach that stitch marker. So go ahead and put a double crochet in all of those stitches we had made until you reach a stitch marker. So I've reached my stitch marker here. I'm going to go ahead and remove it. And I'm going to go ahead and put a double crochet into this stitch marker. Now, this is where the increasing comes into play. I'm going to chain 2. 1, 2. And into that same stitch right here, I'm putting another double crochet. And that is an increase. And you can go ahead and put your stitch marker back in if you feel like you need to remember where your increasing spot is. If not, you can just leave it. I'm going to just leave it. So now I'm just going to continue like normal, doing my double crochets along every stitch until I reach every single of those stitch markers. I'm going to be doing an increase like I just did here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I'm going to show you what to do when you reach your last stitch marker. So I have reached my last stitch marker. So I'm going to go ahead and do my last increasing for this row. I'm going to put a double crochet, then I am going to chain 2, then I'm going to put another double crochet into that same stitch. And that finishes the first row of increasing. Now, to join the last row together to finish it off, you're going to insert your hook at the top of this double crochet or that chain 3 we made. You're going to insert your hook, and we're just going to do a slip stitch. I'm going to show you how to do the next row and how to do increasing when you come across your increasing spot, because it is just, a little bit different than just doing the first row. So you're going to start the same way you did last time, chaining 3. You're going to put double crochets into every stitch until you reach that increasing mark. So I'm coming up on my increasing spot, putting in double crochets. I'm going to insert double crochet right before the spot. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my double crochet into this chain space opening, and then I'm going to chain 2 and insert another double crochet into this opening space. And now you have another increasing spot that looks just like this one, and this is where you will put your next increasing spot in the next row. Now, this is very important, the next part I'm about to show you. You do not want to skip this stitch right here, otherwise your count will be off. I see a lot of people go into here. Do not do that. Go straight into this next space with a double crochet. And then you can continue like normal until you reach that next spot. That's 25 spaces down. You'll put a double crochet, chain 2, and then another double crochet. And don't forget to put your next double crochet into this space. You're going to continue doing that all the way for every increasing row until you meet the end right here. So now you can start to see that it's forming this type of shape. You can see the increases are right here on both front and back, and you're starting to get a kind of square shape like that. So here it is on, you can kind of see what it's going to start to look like, and you're going to continue crocheting this pattern of double crochets and then increasing at the increasing spots and then joining the rounds, and you're just going to continue crocheting down until you can get it kind of right around your armpit area, chest area. I'll show you what that looks like once I get it there, and I'll let you know how many rows I did. Okay, so I ended up doing 10 rows, and I stopped right above my chest, and it's right below my underarm armpit. So what we're going to end up doing is making our armholes. You're going to want to double crochet all the way to where your first increasing mark is. So just like normal, go ahead and chain 3, insert double crochet until you reach that chain or that chain space right here. So we've reached our increasing spot, and we're going to be putting 1 double crochet in that spot. But what we're going to do is we're basically going to chain, and this depends whether you want a more fitted sleeve, a more loose bowie sleeve. The magic number usually fits around 5 to 10, so kind of play around with it and see what works for you.
Editor's note, I feel like I didn't explain that correctly. You're going to be doing that double crochet in the chain space, and then you're chaining. That's what I'm talking about when I'm saying that magic number. You're chaining. I ended up chaining 6. You'll see the next clip is literally me just going, so I chained 6. But yeah, usually people chain the amount so they can reach from their armpit, like the front of their body, to the back of the body to make an armhole. You'll see. I'm so sorry. Apologies.
So now I'm going to kind of just see what it looks like. So I chained 6. I'm going to kind of just guesstimate where that's going to be, and I can kind of see. I think that'd be enough room for my sleeve. If you want it to be more form-fitting, do less chains, but I think maybe 6, or I might even do 5, and we'll be good. So once you chain right here, you're going to be skipping this whole entire side, and you're going to just be doing, just go like this, and you're going to do 1 double crochet into that next chain spot. Just like this. Just 1 double crochet. And now you essentially made like another row, so you can start making the sleeve like this. Now what we're going to do is we're going to crochet double crochets all along this side until you get to this end. Then you will chain the amount of chains that you had on this side and do the exact same thing, skipping this row and then connecting it. So I will see you guys once you do that. Now I'm going to finish putting in double crochets for the last bit right here. Just this bit right here, and then I'll slip stitch once I reach here. And there we go. So this is what we have so far. And now, feel like just double check, make sure you feel like you have enough room. Feels good to me. So now you get to just continue working down on your body, however long you want it to be. And then I'll show you guys how to attach the yarn to do the sleeves. It's pretty simple. And then we just got to add some cuffs and a hem to it. You're going to have yourself a sweater in no time, baby girl. So I ended up crocheting 15 rows down. And now I'm going to show you guys how I do my hem. There's a few ways you can do it. If you want your hem, if you want the bottom to kind of come in more like this, to give it a more cinched, you're going to be doing decreases in every single one of these. But if you want more of a looser fit at the bottom, you're going to be doing what I do, which is you alternate between each stitch of being a regular stitch and then a decrease stitch. And let me show you what I'm talking about, and it'll make more sense. So no matter which way you want to do it, you're going to start off the same way. You're going to be using that smaller hook size again. Go ahead and chain the amount you did for your collar. I did 9. And 9. And now go ahead and single crochet all the way down, starting in this stitch right here. Okay, so here is the last bit, and this part will be the same for everyone. What you're going to do is right into this stitch here, we're going to be doing a slip stitch. Okay, and now we're going to be doing a decrease. And we're going to be going, and this decrease that I'm about to show you is what you will do for any decrease you do in this row for the hem. So if you want to do more of the cinched bottom, you're going to be doing this after every row all the way around. But if you're going to do it my way, you're just going to do this every other stitch. So this is the decrease. You put your hook in, yarn over, pull through. Next stitch over, you'll insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, and then you're going to pull through all of these loops. And that is how you do decrease. And you're going to go ahead and flip your work, and we're going to be working in the back loops here, starting at this part. Make sure you don't start over here. You're starting where your actual hem is starting. And if you forget which one it is, you can always just count down to the number that you chained. So go ahead and work in those back stitches, or those back loops only, single crochets all the way up. If you're doing the cinched look, go ahead and do this. You will slip stitch into here, and then you'll do your decrease with these two. But I am just doing a regular stitch because I'm alternating between decreasing and regular. So now is my regular stitch, so let me show you. I'm just going into the next stitch over with a slip stitch. Then I'm going to flip my work and continue onward. And then I'll reach you guys back at the end here to show you how to end this row. So I've reached my end here, and what you're going to do, you're going to have them lined up like here, and you're just going to be doing slip stitches into the front loop of these. Can you hear my cat chomping away on her food? Damn, she's hungry. Anyway, you're going to insert your loop into the front loop of this one, and then the back loop of this one, and you're just going to do a slip stitch. You're going to do this all the way till you reach the end. And then to finish it off, you're just going to do one chain, and then you'll cut this, pull through, and seam through your ends, or thread in your ends into here. Same. But now we can start working on the sleeve. I already finished one sleeve, so I will show you guys how to do the other sleeve. So we're going to be working in this chain area right where your armpit is going to be, right in here. You're going to go ahead and insert your new yarn right in the middle of this space. So for me, it's right about here. It does not have to be exact. Wherever you think, right there. Go ahead and insert your new yarn. And you're going to go ahead and you're going to chain 3. Go ahead and do double crochet and another double crochet in the next 2 stitches.
Okay, a little editor's note here. You're going to want to, after you chain 3, you're going to do double crochets into every stitch until you reach 2 spaces before your chain space. And then you will continue with my following instructions.
And now that we have 2 stitches before our chain space, we're going to be doing a decrease. So yarn over, insert hook into that first stitch, yarn over again, and just pull through 2 loops, and then yarn over into the next stitch, yarn over and pull through 2, and then yarn over and pull through all 3. And that's our first decrease. Now we're going to do another decrease. In these, excuse me, in these are the chain spaces, those increasing spaces. We're going to be doing a decrease into here. So yarn over, insert into the space, yarn over, pull through 2. Now into the stitch right after it, you're going to go yarn over, pull through 2, and then pull through all 3. So now you have 2 decreases right here. Go ahead and do regular double crochets all the way around until you reach right here, because we're going to have to do another decrease in this chain space. Okay, so I stopped 1 stitch before our increasing chain space right here. I'm going to put my first decrease. And now I'm going to put my next decrease in these 2. And this really just kind of helps give the arms and the sleeves a little bit more shape to it, having a more nice tapered look in like the armpit or underarm area. So now that I finished my last decrease, I'm just going to finish these last double crochets right here. And then I'm just going to go ahead and finish this round like I have been in this whole project with a slip stitch, which I hate for some reason. I'm terrible at slip stitches. For the next round, chain 3 to start. And you're going to go ahead and double crochet until you reach this corner spot. And it doesn't matter exactly where that corner spot is, as long as it's in the vicinity of it. And when you reach that spot, you're going to put a decrease. Oh, my cat. There is my decrease right here. So now I'm going to do double crochets all the way around until I reach my other corner area. And then I'm just going to put another decrease and then finish off my row. And you're going to go ahead and do this either 2 ways. So if you go ahead and continue that pattern, you're going to keep tapering off your sleeve, and it's going to become smaller and smaller at the wrist. What I did is I continued that pattern until I met around here, on which is where like kind of my elbow is, and then I just did a bunch of double crochets for the rest. No more decreasing, because I didn't want it to be super tapered at my wrist. So that is completely up to you of how tapered off you want your sweater to be. So I did 16, starting from here, rows of that decreasing, non-decreasing pattern of rows. And then I just finished it off with just regular double crochets to keep the length that the width that I had already made. And then I added my collar. But if you want to continue doing it, it's just going to be a more tapered form-fitting on your wrist. So as a reminder, you should have your first row that has 2 decreases on both sides of the corners. And now you started your next row where you'll just have 1 decrease. And then another decrease over here. And then after this row, your third row should be normal double crochets. And then you'll switch back to doing a round. Your fourth row should have double crochets and then 2 decreases on either corners. And to do the cuffs are exactly the same way the hem is done. So go back and watch how I did the hem, because it is exactly the same for the cuffs.
So here is the finished product. It turned out way better than I was thinking it was going to. And I'm really excited to keep making shirts like this. Like, these are just, they're so fun and easy. It's giving us 70s vibes. I don't know why, it just is, okay? But I love how mine turned out. I really hope you guys had fun doing this, because I know I sure did. So thank you so much for watching. Hopefully I explained everything clearly. I tried my very best, okay? And have fun crocheting out there. I'll see you guys in the next video.
Hello. You want to say hi? Hello. Hello. I'm crocheting. Do 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 do. Crochet with me, the crocheting cat. I crochet.